love it. I got it at Goodwill.
Kate got it at Goodwill. With hundreds of thousands of unique items arriving in-store daily, you can get it at Goodwill too. Find your convenient neighborhood location at goodwillaz.org. Nonprofit for good.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit andrewthehomebuyer.com. That's andrewthehomebuyer.com.
Got hail damage or any damage? Dynasty Collision is here to help, and we're even covering part of your deductible. Thousands are skipping repairs because of cost, but you don't have to. Call Dynasty Collision today, 602-529-3304. That's 602-529-3304.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Welcome into this Friday, October 17th edition of The Lunch Break. Kayla Mortellaro here with you. Final day filling in for Chris Schubert, who has been enjoying his honeymoon. He'll be back with you on Monday. Evan behind the glass, making sure that you can see and hear us on KDOS AM 1060's YouTube channel, as well as here on KDOS AM 1060 and with the KDOS 1060 app. We got a fun Friday show for you that includes a trip on the hotline to John Miller of NBC Channel 26 in Green Bay to talk about the Green Bay Packers and preview this Packers-Cardinals contest. We'll do that around 11:20 or so today. Buy or sell set for 11:45. Kyle Soppe from Pro Football Network to help us with some NFL props and bets around 12:15. And then, of course, we'll have our 3 picks as well, our 3-point plays for the weekend, as well as your chance to get in on the 3-point play for a chance at a Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits gift card. Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits located at Alma Skull, just between Elliott and Warner in Chandler, and of course online at vonhansensmeats.net. But let's get things started here with last night on the gridiron. You have Thursday night football, and Thursdays, they have been a wild ride so far this season, and we had the battle of the 40-year-olds with the Bengals coming out on top, 33-31. I had thought that Jamar Chase was going to have a big night. I didn't realize it was going to be this big of a night. 16 catches for 161 yards and a touchdown. Joe Flacco was really good. 31 of 47 for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. And truthfully here, the Steelers defense, they didn't get it done. They were unable to get pressure on Joe Flacco. He was only sacked twice, but truthfully to make him uncomfortable, make him not have time to survey the field and get to his reads with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, he was able to just really pick them apart, dissect, and do anything he wanted. But when you talk about Joe Flacco, I have to ask you here, Evan, did you see or even think that we would see a read option for a first down from Joe Flacco late in that game?
As the game got later, it felt like you could see anything. So the read option, though, was crazy. I couldn't believe really how both quarterbacks moved on a short week. I thought Rodgers moved well. I thought Flacco obviously moved well. And then the play call to actually go with the read option is insane.
It is
That
insane.
is a crazy play call, and it worked. So I couldn't believe it, but yeah, it was insane to watch and really kind of a really fun game. Best Thursday night game of the year, probably.
It was a really fun game. And Ray Fittipaldo, who joined us in yesterday's program talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, he talked about how Aaron Rodgers is starting to show off that mobility that he has been that we are accustomed to seeing, not necessarily him running and taking off for a 30-yard gain, but just buying some time in the pocket with that mobility. And that was on full display. Also, what was on full display, that man still has an arm.
Yeah. Just the last series they had prior to the Hail Mary series, he rolls right and steps up in the pocket and delivers a strike. It gets tipped away. And then the next play, he kind of moves a little left and fires a rocket to Pat Freiermuth. And it gets through, and they score the long touchdown. He still has a cannon. Both of these guys still have big arms, and that was fun to watch. And if you're Flacco, this has to be the best receivers he's ever played with, and it shows. It looks like he's having fun out there, because I swear to God, and I don't know the number before I look at it, he threw the ball to Jamar Chase 70 times. And now that I am looking at it, he had 23 targets. Jamar Chase had 16 grabs for 23 targets. T. Higgins had almost 100 yards. He had 10 targets. These are the best receivers. Flacco's just throwing it up. Why not? He's the best receivers I'm ever going to play with, and it came at age 40. And last night he was awesome. 31 of 47 for 342, 3 touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over. That says it all.
Right. The no turnovers there for Joe Flacco, that's the recipe, right? He's kind of, as a gunslinger, makes some sort of turnovers here and there. But last night, no turnovers, no fumbles. And the other thing, too, that has to be very concerning for the Steelers defensively, talked about how Jamar Chase, T. Higgins had their way from a corner standpoint, not able to get pressure on, because it feels like the Steelers defense is so reliant upon TJ Watt and Cam Hayward to get home and to kind of help the back end of the defense. But they didn't stop the run. Chase Brown had over 100 yards on the ground, and this was a rushing attack for the Bengals that was last in the league. So defensively, I think you come away here with a lot of question marks for the Steelers, whereas the offense, maybe thinking to yourself in watching some of the previous games for the Steelers that, how is this offense going to put up some points? They put up 30 for you.
Yeah. They put up 31, right? And the 2 picks, while not great, you threw 4 touchdowns last night. You put up 30 points. You got to win the game. You had, I'd say, drive. It really ended up being the one big play to get yourself up late, and you immediately give it back up on the T. Higgins completion. So if Cincinnati is able to put up 33 points with Joe Flacco, who is, 11 days into the building? Right? What are full offenses that are clicking going to be able to do? And that's not a knock on Flacco. He was perfect last night. It was fun seeing those guys throw it around the yard. They were both really efficient.
You talked about those interceptions, and I did think that first interception was really pivotal because the Bengals had gone down, scored, and made it a one score game. And first play, Aaron Rodgers throws a bomb that's picked off. And before you know it, Bengals are coming back. They score. Then the next series, the Steelers do move the ball, and that was an incredible pickoff by DJ Turner. And then all of a sudden, they get another score. So now they're up 17-10 at half. And that kind of really flipped things, I think, because the Steelers were kind of in control for that first quarter.
Yeah, this game was 10-0 at the start of the second quarter, right? And that kind of gets lost in the shuffle because of the 2 turnovers right before the half, and because Cincinnati was able to put up 17 points in that second quarter. But this game felt like it was in full control of Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati responded, right? And the defense got the 2 takeaways. So yeah, they gave up 31 points, but they put themselves in a position to come back in this game when it was 10-0. And all of a sudden you went into the half with a lead after, for what felt like most of the first half, you were in complete disarray from what the Steelers had been able to do kind of at will defensively and offensively.
Yeah, and for the defense as well, you touched on it too. For the Bengals coming out in that second half, there was only one possession that the Bengals didn't score on in that second half, and that was when then the Steelers had the chance to go down there and they scored Pat Freiermuth with that touchdown, but there was too much time left. They give up the big play to T. Higgins. He slides. They're able to run the clock out, and the Bengals end up going and winning the game. So from a defensive standpoint, unable to get off the field, the offense certainly did their part. I thought Jaylen Warren was going to be able to have a huge game as well, just because the Bengals are pretty bad on defense in terms of stopping the run and being able to stop any of the running backs coming out of the backfield for any sort of swing passes or screens. And the Steelers are pretty darn good at those as well. He had a big game. So offensively, though, you had to like what you saw from the Steelers, getting different playmakers involved. DK Metcalf, Pat Freiermuth has kind of had I don't want to say slow, but slow start to the season for what he is capable of doing, but he had a huge night for you. So this, though, does change things in the AFC North, because now you have the Steelers sitting at 4-2. Mike Tomlin drops to 0-7 on Thursday nights on the road against AFC North opponents. The Bengals sitting at 3-4, but the biggest thing, the Bengals season isn't done yet. They're only sitting at a game and a half back, and they're right in this thing. Two different directions that this team is going, because the Bengals now have two more at home facing the Jets and the Bears, whereas the Steelers have the Packers and the Colts coming up. So maybe a little bit of a swing in a different direction here for these two teams.
Yeah, and last night was a huge win for Cincinnati, because at 3-4, if they can get back to 4-4, maybe one game over 500, we're talking about a team that is going to eventually get Joe Burrow back. And gosh, it's going to be hard to sit down Flacco if he's playing like this.
Quarterback controversy.
But in all seriousness, they're going to get Joe Burrow back. And this team, if in a position where they can win out at the end of the season, if he is back in early December and string a few wins together, they have a chance. They have a chance to make the playoffs, and never count Joe Burrow out in the playoffs for me, right? Like, I'd like them match up against anybody just because of what I think they can do offensively with Joe Burrow.
I wonder if it changes, though, from a Bengals standpoint, what we had touched on briefly yesterday with pass rusher who didn't play in this game, Trey Hendrickson, but the fact that it was a challenge to get a deal done. They ended up just working out a 1-year deal for him, but potentially interest. You had touched on the Eagles potentially interested in Trey Hendrickson, the 49ers, that looks like a pretty good fit for him. But now if you're sitting in this particular position, as a team, you don't want to trade him because you're right in the thick of things here and you need his pass rush. There also really wasn't any pass rush for the Bengals defensively last night.
Yeah, and we're talking about a couple weeks from the deadline. So I have options, and I have a little bit of time, which is nice. Time is going to help the Bengals, because if you beat the Jets next week, you're a 4-4 football team who lost their starting quarterback and is starting to figure things out over the last couple of weeks. And then you got the Bears at home. And if you can win that one, and I think the Bears are playing pretty good football right now, but if you can win that one, you're talking about a 5-4 team headed into the bye. Doesn't it feel like that's a football team that can take advantage and hang on to your star pass rusher? Because if you're 5-4, you come out of the bye, you have Pittsburgh on the road. Gosh, if you win that game, I mean, you're talking about a 6-4 Bengals that took both against the Steelers. And you're in November, you're a few weeks back from getting Burrow. And the schedule does toughen up. Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Ravens again. So it does toughen up, but your hope is to have Burrow back. So I don't know if I'm trading Trey Hendrickson if I can get 2 wins in the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely. I think that changes things. This win really changed a lot of dynamics there for that Bengals team moving forward. And for the Steelers, they got to answer some questions here. I think defensively, for sure. How are they going to really help out that secondary? How are they going to get some pass rush? It really felt like when we chatted with Ray Fittipaldo yesterday that he felt like the defense was coming around, and that coming off of that bye, they really had some answers here to be able to get that pressure that they needed to. But in an offensive line for the Bengals that had some question marks, really not being able to get that type of pressure that you need to be successful to help the secondary, I think certainly has more questions that need to be answered for the Steelers moving forward. And I think this win sheds some light that maybe we have to pump the brakes on just how far this team can go.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's one game. That's the most important thing. I mean, it's one game for both sides. You try not to overreact. So that's
what we do with the NFL,
though.
And
you have to. And the short week plays a huge factor, right? Like we saw the Eagles beat the Giants. If crazy things happen.
The Giants beat the Eagles.
Sorry, yeah.
I know you wanted the outcome of the Eagles beating the Giants.
The Giants beat the Eagles last week on Thursday night. The Cardinals came back on the Seahawks before the Seahawks were able to. Crazy things tend to happen on Thursday night. So it's one Thursday night game on a short week. Like, I'm trying not to put too much stock into it from either side. I think if you're either side, though, you're walking out of this game probably pretty excited about where your offense is. And for the Steelers, you have some answers because you aren't supposed to be that bad defensively. If you're the Bengals, you knew that's how you were going to have to win this game.
Yeah, it was going to have to be a shootout, and that's why you went and got Joe Flacco to be able to do that. Get the ball to the guys who can make some plays.
Yeah, certainly.
Well, if that's how, though, week number 7 is going to get started, and that's how we're going to roll into a week 7 preview and prediction, let's get things rolling. We'll step aside, though, here on the lunch break, and we'll make room for John Miller of NBC Channel 26 in Green Bay to talk to us about the Packers and preview the Packers coming to Glendale to take on the Cardinals on Sunday. So we'll do that here next on the lunch break on KDUS AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
Even if Troy Aikman pretty much said the NFL product sucked last night, he's not wrong. I thought this was supposed to be a brand new Jets. They're more dysfunctional and more undisciplined than ever. You know what would actually be brand new for the Jets? A new head coach starting 0-5. That has never happened, but it looks like there's a very good chance it's about to happen.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
And now, name something dads can do at the Arizona State Fair.
Have your first kiss on the sky ride.
Yes!
Hold purses and a beer and a turkey leg and still look cool.
Yes, you are correct.
The 2025 Arizona State Fair, open at noon Thursdays through Sundays in October. Check out azstatefair.com for tickets.
Only 50% of Arizonans believe their health insurance will cover them in a major medical emergency, like a car accident or an unexpected life-changing diagnosis. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona aims to change that perception. AZ Blue often takes care of more than 99% of hospital charges in major emergencies, protecting you and your family from devastating financial consequences. To learn more about how AZ Blue protects its members, head to azblue.com/true story.
At Mark Mazda in Scottsdale, we need your trade. Right now, we'll give you a minimum of $8,000 for any trade, no matter what shape it's in, as long as it runs on every brand new 2025 Mazda CX-50 and CX-5 in stock.
The name to remember, Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. Price based on actual MSRP.
Get ready to win in our $250,000 Ultimate Adventure Package giveaway at Aquarius in Edgewater in Laughlin, Nevada. Play your favorite slots to win a 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500, a Momentum toy hauler, and a Polaris Expedition side-by-side. We'll draw 10 winners every Saturday in October, plus 10 more in a last chance drawing on November 1st. Each winner scores $500 in cash and a key certificate for the grand prize drawing on November 1st, where one winner takes it all at Aquarius. See True Rewards for complete details.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. So I'll be catching some heat from Mariners fans on my daily program. Strays like, hey, Dodger Jim, the Mariners are the best story in baseball. When are you going to talk about us?
When? How about right now? How about you having the most important home game in a quarter of a century, up 2-0 with a chance to put an absolute stranglehold on Toronto and the ALCS, only to get blown out. And this after you rolled the unit, Randy Johnson out to throw out the first pitch. They could have used him last night. Not that he could have kept anybody in the yard, given the Jays had a fight at the bat rack, finishing with 5 home runs and 4 doubles. On top of that, my dude, the dude they traded for at the deadline, UC Santa Barbara legend Shane Bieber, did what he was brought in to do, win big games and mow dudes. And that's exactly what he did. All in all, a pretty horrible time for Mariners fans who have waited years for that night. All in all, a pretty horrible time for Mariners fans who had waited years for that night. Just don't tell me I never talk about you, Mariner fan, because I just did. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly! Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
For everyone out there, Jacoby Brissett is not the answer, because he's had games like that before where he's shown you that he could be a very capable quarterback. He's never been able to do it for a season and lead a team to any meaningful playoffs. So while it looked good, Cardinal fans, it's still not the answer. It just shows you how good it could be, maybe, if Kyler Murray could play better, or just different play calls, I guess, can be made.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Kayla Mortellaro filling in for Chris Schubert. As we pop on out to the hotline, as we're joined by John Miller, NBC Channel 26 in Green Bay, to chat with us about the Green Bay Packers. John, appreciate the time on the program on this Friday. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Looking forward to trying to dissect this Packers team. Through 6 weeks of the season, the Packers have already had their bye. How would you describe the start of the year?
The start of the year, I'd say they haven't played a complete football game yet. They have a defense that shows that they can be one of the best in the league. And then they have an offense that shows that they can be one of the best in the league. But they just can't seem to put it all together at the same time. Once they can put it all together at the same time, this team's going to be dangerous. But as head coach Matt LaFleur always says, you want to be playing your best football at the end of the year, not in September or October.
Offensively, Jordan Love has been very efficient. Is completing passes at over a 70% clip. For Love, what is working for him so well this year, and what growth have you seen?
The biggest growth that I've seen with Love is this year, he can actually move. Last year was hindered by a groin injury, a few other injuries, a knee injury. He also has more rushing yards than he had all of last season. 88, he only had 85 last year, and that was in 15 games. But Love, right now, like you said, he's completing a lot of passes, 70%. He has a lot of great weapons on this team, and he looks like he's in that tier of quarterbacks that's right below the Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, but he's one of those top 10 quarterbacks. He'll make one of those plays where you're like, oh, no, that looks like Brett Favre. But then for the rest of the game, he looks like a mini version of Aaron Rodgers. So funny enough, they play next week. He looks very good this year. He's playing outstanding, and he just puts the ball where it needs to go to any receiver that's open. He doesn't pick a guy that he wants to hone in on.
Here in Arizona, we're certainly impartial to watching good tight end play, and you guys in Green Bay have a really good young tight end in Tucker Kraft. He is the Packers' leading receiver. So when you look at him and in his capabilities, do you like, and does the offense like him being the leading receiver right now for the team?
Of course, they would like to give Tucker Kraft the ball a little more, but as I just said, in Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur said it earlier this week after Matthew Golden had a career high receiving yards. They're not going to force anybody, but Tucker Kraft, if you watch him play, he is that dude. I mean, Jonas Jacobs described him as, he's a little crazy, but you have to be a little crazy to be successful in this league. I mean, I watched Kraft, I covered the Montana State Bobcats a few years ago when he was with the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, and I knew he was going to be a special player. When I came here, the Packers drafted him shortly after, a year later. He's a great blocker, he's a great pass catcher. You get him the ball in space, he's going to make something happen.
You touched on Matthew Golden there. What has been the talk about getting and finding ways to get Matthew Golden more involved? And they did that last week. So how does that continue to grow?
Well, the great thing about Golden is he creates great separation. I haven't seen like that this week, but leading into the Cowboys game, he's leading the NFL in separation according to NFL Statcast. They're not going to force feed him. LaFleur keeps phoning it on it. So does Jordan Love. They're not going to. They like to feed him the ball more, but if somebody else is open, they're going to throw him the ball. That's the best thing about the Packers offense. That's what Matt LaFleur schemes does. They're not going to specifically target anyone in X amount of time. If you're open, you're going to get the ball, and that's the way it is in this offense.
Is the run game for the Packers efficient enough?
It's getting there. A couple of weeks ago, they were averaging, after week 3, they were averaging like 3.4 yards per carry. Right now, after 2 more games, they upped that number to 4. The offensive line finally healthy. They finally got their first unit together for a full game last week. So you think a couple more weeks of that, they're going to keep building, and it's going to just keep getting better and better. But Josh Jacobs, he said the first couple of games that it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get the right game going, and he was right. And it's just going to get better and better as the year goes on. Florida's never going to go away from the run game. It's a run first coach.
John Miller, NBC Channel 26 in Green Bay here on KDUS AM 1060. So I don't know if this was good or bad for you that I started with the offensive side of the ball, but I do have to touch on the defensive side of the ball. And, of course, Micah Parsons. So let's talk about Micah Parsons coming into the building and obviously the immediate boost here. But with 2.5 sacks on the year, it's kind of been a little bit of a mixed bag, not getting the defensive calls. How would you assess Micah Parsons' start as a Green Bay Packer?
Oh, I think it's been fantastic. He can wreck any play. Causes quarterbacks to get out of the pocket. I think guys fans are starting to find Cowboys fans are complaining about. I mean, he's held a lot during the game. He's very disruptive. He's up at the top of the league in rushes, rushing the quarterback in terms of statistics. So, sorry, I almost got hit by another car here. But he's fantastic. What he's been doing is great. It's just a matter of time before he really gets unleashed. That's what he said yesterday. Don't stop the hump. He's going to fight through the double teams, chips, the non-calls on holding, but he's been terrific.
What's the status of Lucas Van Ness? I saw him popping up on that injury report here. I think he's a big-time player, but that would be kind of, I think, problematic if he's not out there for you on Sunday.
Yeah, he's finally making a year-3 jump. I mean, he's playing standing, and unfortunately, sacked some Flacco last week. He hurt his foot, which was kind of crazy because he jumped up after the sack and celebrated. He didn't seem like anything was wrong with him. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do this week, which is unfortunate because the Packers' defensive line is already down. Former first-round pick Devontae Wyatt, who's been playing terrific this year. They extended his fifth-year option last year on his rookie deal. So they're missing 2 big pieces up front, and they have young guys like Nadir Stackhouse and Warren Griffin, a D tackle who's going to have to step up.
On the defensive side of the ball here, the Packers, you touched on how they are in the top in a lot of different categories here, but it's been a couple of weeks in a row now that these double-digit leads have evaporated. So what's been the concerted effort in the building and kind of the talk of how to stop that from happening?
I thought it was kind of interesting. Monday, I was after the game, he was going to look at them. But Monday and Wednesday this week, the board kind of said it might have to do with their conditioning. They just maybe need to be conditioned better. And, in the first half of 4 games, in their 5 games, they've given up 20 points. In the second half, they've given up 80. So something's going to change there. But before alluded to conditioning, and I think, you look back at the last game against the Bengals, they had the 17 and 18 play drive that took 10 minutes off the clock. I mean, everybody's going to be gassed. If your defense is long, an 18-play drive, they're doing something most of the time, and then Cincinnati they can just put a game together, they'll be just fine.
Any defensive front that is as dominant as the Packers can be, that certainly helps the secondary. But when you look at this secondary here for the Packers, how have they improved?
Man, I think, I don't think the same targeted the safety has been targeted once this whole season. Evan Williams is terrific, a second-year player out of Oregon. He's having a great season as well. But I think the person that stepped up the most in that secondary, and he's built up over time from a punt returner, kick returner to a slot corner to now a border guy, is Keyshawn Nixon. I mean, he went toe for toe with Jamar Chase last week. Chase got missed, but after you watch yesterday's game against the Steelers, it makes Nixon's performance look even better. He's been outstanding on the boundary, and I think that's really the key piece. But outside of him, their quarterbacks like Nick Collins, I think, still getting healthy after tearing James MCL during training camp, and Captain Valentine still trying to find his footing. But that's where the Packers secondary can be engaged, is those guys outside of Nixon, but those guys are very good ball players as well.
John Miller, NBC Channel 26 here in KDUS AM 1060 and the lunch break. So when we look at this Cardinals team, the defense isn't really getting enough pressure on opposing quarterbacks and making them uncomfortable. Jordan Love has just been sacked 9 times so far this season here. So being able to sit back and survey the field, how would you expect this Packers team to attack on Sunday?
Oh, I think they're start with the pass to open up the range just a little bit, but I think, that's kind of the way if the run's not going, they're going to support with the pass, or they get the time to start the pass. Just depends on what they're seeing. The defense is going to give them. Last week, Cincinnati started off with 2 hot shell, and the Packers weren't expecting that. They were only averaging 2 yards per carry with a defense that was too hot shell. And LaFleur said he looked at the offensive line and said, boys, you better start blocking it to be a long day. And then they ended up starting blocking, the run game got going, and the passing got going even more. So they just, it just depends on what they want to do, right? In my opinion. It's never one thing or the other, but like I said, they always like to start with the run game and get the pass going.
For the Packers here, they're sitting at 3-1-1. This is a game that they have to win if they want to be in the conversation late for the division. Is that how they're viewing this?
Oh, yeah. They take every game, one game at a time. Early on in the season, you have guys like Rasheed Walker saying, we're not going to lose a game, we're not going to win a Super Bowl. Now I think they're thinking of every week and it's really their Super Bowl. They're going to win the week, and that will take them to where they want to go, especially in this tough NFC North division. It's one of the best divisions in the NFL. You might not have a team below 500 at the end of the year. So, yeah, I think every game is a must-win game in this division, especially if you want to get the one team and the playoffs go through one of them.
So what's your prediction for Sunday's game?
Yeah, I want to say Packers 34, Cardinals 23.
All right. John, I really appreciate you taking some time and joining us today.
Thank you. You have a great weekend.
You as well. Once again, he is John Miller with Channel 26 in Green Bay joining us here, and he's going with the Packers for a win on Sunday. We'll step aside here on the lunch break on KDUS AM 1060, and when we come back, we'll dive into Major League Baseball playoffs. We got 2 different kind of outcomes from the games yesterday, and we'll talk about what to expect for tonight's contest as well. It is the lunch break on KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KTUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Hello, everybody.
Gary, why are you wearing a...
Hold on, Ron. Every time Gary walks in here wearing some goofy costume, you always say, Gary, why are you wearing that?
Yeah, but...
And then it turns into some long-winded story about Alaskifications.
Yeah, but...
Then Gary says something ridiculous.
Yeah, but...
And you agree that an Alaskification before winter is the best way to prepare for cold weather.
Yeah, but...
And how Alaskan AC guarantees no breakdowns.
Yeah, but...
And all it does is encourage Gary to walk around wearing a stupid-looking ski mask that no person in his right mind would get caught dead wearing.
Yeah, but he's wearing my ski mask.
Keeping my head protected, just like the Alaskification protects your heater.
My ski mask isn't stupid looking.
Look who's wearing it. I choose to ignore that remark. Because you know another one is coming.
Take off that stupid ski mask.
See?
And that's why you should schedule your Alaska vacation today.
What did we accomplish here?
I'm not sure, but today is a good day to Alaskafy. Schedule now at alaskanac.com.
It's the grand opening of Fulton Homes' newest master plan community, Acclaim. This beautiful community features open spaces, multiple parks, and a large aquatic center. Visit FultonHomes.com. Fulton Homes. You're proud to own. We're proud to build.
Twin Arrows.
Make this Halloween electrifying by winning a brand new VW all-electric van.
The place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Yes, we're giving away a VW electric van and a whole lot of cash Halloween. Only at Twin Arrows Navajo Casino Resort. Now that's too much fun.
Twin Arrows.
Make your first cool cruise to Twin Arrows for a spooktacular evening with psychic medium Matt Frazier. He'll calm your fears of the unknown. November 23rd. Book a room. We've got spooktacular $99 anytime rates that make it way too easy for you to stay and play.
Place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Twin Arrows. I got my first real six-string.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
This fall, choose Primavera Online, and you'll be choosing a school with flexibility, personalized support, and an award-winning curriculum that's over 20 years strong. Now enrolling grades K to 12 at chooseprimavera.com.
James out west.
Mike Trout became the 59th player to hit his 400th home run, the home run record holder for the Angels. I was going to quiz you. Who do you think the number 2 is on the list for all-time home runs for the Anaheim Angels?
I would assume it's Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, Tim Salmon.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
299 for Tim Salmon. Mike Trout got 101 more than the next
about
guy.
Naming a random MLB player that had a really good career.
Yeah,
That's
dude, I loved watching Tim Salmon, bro. I'm about to cut together some Tim Salmon highlights.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. It's Friday. It's October 17th. We got some football to get into, but we're going to take a break from football conversation, dive into Major League Baseball playoff conversation. We'll start with yesterday afternoon's game with the Dodgers and the Brewers, as the Dodgers went on to win 3-1 and took a 3-0 series lead here. First inning, Ohtani, he hits a triple, followed by a double by Betts that ends up scoring Ohtani and gets the Dodgers out in front to a 1-0 lead. The Brewers made a pitching change in that first inning. It seemed like we were all led to believe that Quintana was going to be getting a bulk of the innings yesterday, but they ended up going with Jacob I'm not going to say that last name correctly. Jacob Swarsky or something along those lines.
Mizorowski.
There we go. Thank you. And the Brewers were able to answer back in the top of the second, getting to Tyler Glasnow, tying up the game. But Glasnow from that point forth did not give up a hit. His final line, 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run with 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. And so you thought, okay, we're in the 6th inning. We're going to the bullpen. Maybe here's some time for us to be able to get to it if we are the Brewers. But the Dodgers ended up using 4 pitchers from the bullpen, with Sasaki getting the save in the 9th. The relievers for the Dodgers allowed just 1 hit in that 3 1/3 innings.
Yeah, that's been kind of the story, is the Dodgers have been able to avoid this bullpen that collapsed for them in September. And even when they had to go 3 1/3 last night, the bullpen was great. And that's why they're up 3-0 in a championship series, because the one knock for them all year long was the bullpen is really, really bad. And I mean really bad all year. It's been good. Blake Trinan this year really wasn't very good. He's been good right now, right? And that's what matters. So He had posted a 5.4 ERA this year. He was able to get 2 outs yesterday. And you bridge the gap to Sasaki, who's been great all postseason. And, what feels like for not only this playoff run, but maybe for the future, maybe your actual closer. He's been the answer so far as the closer, and I don't blame the Dodgers for turning that way. It's been how are they able to bridge the gap? In games 1 and 2, they didn't have to do that at all. Last night they had to do it. They went Vesia situationally, got the lefties they needed. He got you 2 outs. Trinan got you 2 outs, and then you got a full inning out of Anthony Banda. And so those things are really important. Like Banda, who's been in 2 games and thrown 2 innings, hasn't given up a run. This year he posted a 3.8, 1.8 ERA. He was one of their better options. And he's been kind of the answer in the 2 games that you've seen him in the postseason. So they've been able to get to the 9th. That was the hardest thing for them all year long. Now they're kind of settling down, understanding their starters can get multiple innings, and understanding that we have some guys that can bridge the gap. Brewers, again, just offensively, nothing. They scored 1 run in the second and then went 7 without a run again. So this offense and these bats have just fallen asleep, and they're down 3-0. And, the writing's on the wall in this series. It certainly feels like it's going to be a sweep.
It is feeling that way for sure. And you talked about the Brewers, though, in terms of the bats are not finding ways to just work counts, get hits, see what can possibly happen, get guys on base, and just kind of start to try to build some momentum. This team only has 9 hits in the first 3 games of this series. And yes, we've talked about the domination of Blake Snell and Yamamoto, and then Tyler Glasnow, after giving up 1 run, then didn't give up a hit after that point in time. So and this is also the mark of what you need in playoff baseball, is we have talked about how the Dodgers bullpen has struggled for the chunk of this season here. And how are they going to find ways to, and who are they going to put into these high leverage situations? But if you want to win playoff baseball, if you want to go back to back in the World Series, those are the moments where those players in those high leverage situations step up and make the pitches.
Yeah, right. Like that's the difference for the Dodgers. Experience. All these guys have pitched here before. All of them know what it takes, because the only guy that really hasn't pitched for the Dodgers last year is Blake Snell, and he was back in 2020 pitching against the Dodgers in a World Series. So all these guys have pitched in the postseason. They know what it takes. You can't say the same about the Brewers roster. Those guys haven't seen it as much. So it's a battle of experience versus some not experience. Jacob Mizrowski was awesome yesterday. Talk about not experience. He was awesome. And he really shut down that Dodgers lineup and gave the Brewers a chance. They just weren't able to get over that hump.
Yeah, no, after getting to Ashby and going to Jacob, he was incredible. And those are the moments right there of why, the Dodgers are who they are versus other teams trying to break through, in that you got what you needed from your pitcher in that particular situation to settle down the game, and the Brewers weren't able to take advantage of it on the other side. And so now you have a situation here where the Dodgers are up 3-0. Your backs are really against the wall here. They're 1 way away from becoming the first defending champion to reach the World Series since the 2009 Philadelphia Phillies. No team, though, has won back-to-back titles since the Yankees won 3 in a row, 1998, 1999, and 2000. And the only MLB team to overcome a 3-0 postseason deficit was the 2004 Red Sox against the Yankees. And when you talk about what's happening here for the Dodgers and who they're going to send out to the mound tonight, it's Ohtani. And Ohtani is part of that 4-person rotation that in this postseason have given up a 1.54 ERA. He may be the quote-unquote worst of the starting pitchers, though, but that's still an impressive person to be going out there to try to get this sweep.
Yeah, I was going to make that joke that he's probably the worst of them just because he is the 4.5 ERA. But he only has the 1 start, right? Like, they've only had to use him once. That was in Game 1 of the division series. Yep. He was set to go in Game 5. They didn't get there, so they didn't need to use him. And then they went back to some of their big guns there in the early part of the championship series. So for Ohtani, I mean, this is going to be really a big opportunity for him to send the Dodgers to the World Series. A couple questions. Like, he didn't go all that deep in the first game, right? I think he pitched 6 innings.
Yeah, 6 innings. He struck out 9, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs.
Yeah, so one thing they've been dealing with all year long is how long are they going to give him? How long's his leash, right? Because of the injuries and everything else that has gone down. Are they going to let him go tonight, or because you're up 3-0, maybe you're a little bit more tentative? It'll be interesting to see how they play it. For the Brewers, like, I don't even know what to say. Like, you just got to get hits eventually.
Yeah.
There's not much else to say other than, like, eventually you just have to swing the bat. And for them, it's been really cold bats. I mean, you said it, 9 hits in 3 games. That is abysmal.
It's not good, especially for a team that was so good at hitting all season long.
At some point, it's on the own lineup, right? Like, the pitching is great. The Dodgers have been awesome. But, like, eventually get a hit. So, yeah, I mean, the Brewers need to wake up.
Yeah, and to your point, though, in that Ohtani first start, they turned it over to Tyler Glasnow. So obviously that's not going to happen here in this particular situation. So if Ohtani only goes 5-6 innings, where are you going to finish out the rest of the game from? So that's certainly going to be an interesting move for the Dodgers, and if they want to just wrap this thing up and have some rest, waiting for their World Series opponent.
Yeah, and that's the old buy question, right? Because it certainly feels like Mariners Blue Jays might go 7.
Right.
And if you get the Dodgers in a sweep, they're going to have like almost I think it would be, so if they win today, let's do the math on when game 1 of the World Series is.
Yeah, because if it goes 7 in the other series, that's
Game
Monday.
1 of the World Series is Friday. They would have a full week off.
Wow.
It's a long time to have off in baseball, and it would be awesome for their starters who have carried the bulk of this load. You worry about the bats a little, just cooling down naturally. Luckily for them, their bats really haven't been the answer. So
I was going to say, you've kind of been talking about
so
how
I was
the
gonna
bats
say,
need
so
to
like,
heat up.
So luckily for them, the week off is probably more beneficial than it would be for other teams. So they're going to have probably a lot of time off. Whether they finish the sweep today or play on Sunday and close this thing out. I guess it would be Saturday, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd just be Saturday. But so yeah, if they finish this thing out, they're going to have almost a full week off, and that's going to be a huge conversation.
And so for the Brewers, at least as of this morning, I hadn't seen who they are set to start, but obviously they've just kind of been piecemealing this thing together here. But game 4 tonight, 5:38 p.m. on TBS. Flipping it on over to the other series in the American League, the Blue Jays and the Mariners, it's now all tied up following an 8-2 Blue Jays victory over the Mariners. And how about Max Scherzer? I mean, he didn't throw it back to 2019, Max Scherzer, but he certainly did throw it back and was fiery out there with some good stuff. 5 2/3 innings, giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 1 home run, 5 strikeouts. He also had, the moment with the manager where he won that battle and he got to stay out there. So Max certainly giving them an important start. And especially as well, kind of maybe for the Mariners, you get that home run off of Josh Naylor, and you're thinking, okay, we're back in the saddle here, but then Max Scherzer himself settles down, and the bats for the Mariners don't really do much the rest of the way, whereas Jimenez, a very, I guess, unlikely hero here for the Blue Jays, he continues to get some more hits. He answers in the 3rd with a 2-run home run. You also have Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s bat in Seattle is heating up with a home run and a single on the night. So you were able to get to Luis Castillo early with a quick hook of just 2 1/3 as he gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, including a home run. And in this so-called pitcher's ballpark here at T-Mobile Park, the Blue Jays have outscored the Mariners 21-6 in 2 games in Seattle. So the potency there of the Blue Jays and what they can do offensively now on display in Seattle. And I think when you tie this thing all up 2-2, the pressure is squarely on the Mariners to get a win in their home ballpark to be able to go back to Toronto up 3-2.
Yeah, that would be an epic 2019 World Series-esque, referencing it again, right? In 2019, the away team won every game. So they have the opportunity to see something like that again. And for Seattle, you're almost kind of rooting for this at that point because the Jays got up off the mat. And down 2-0, it was like, oh, my God, this offense for Toronto was so relentless early in the year. What happened? And they fell down 2-0 immediately in Game 3, and you're like, gosh. And the offense has exploded since that. Another 8 runs last night. Again, they were down 1-0, came out in the third, immediately answered that with 3 of their own. They were really relentless at the plate last night. And if you're Seattle, we're talking about a situation now where in 3 straight games, you haven't had a pitcher go more than 4 2/3. And it worked in Game 2. You were able to get the win, but since then it has not worked. Well, I guess George Kirby did go longer than that. Shouldn't have.
He shouldn't have.
Yeah,
I can't believe he went out for the 5th.
He did go longer, but he shouldn't have. But that's the kind of offense that I think we got accustomed to see for the Blue Jays, especially in the Yankees series. That's the kind of offense that we expected, and it has really come out here in Game 3 and Game 4.
So if you're the Mariners, though, are you happy that you're sending Bryce Miller to the mound?
Yes. And I think just because you go back to Game 1 and how dominant he was. And I know the conversation, sometimes people think they have the advantage because they've seen him before, but he was dominant. I mean, he diced up the Blue Jays. He gave them, in Game 1, 6 innings, just the 2 hits, the 1 earned run. He struck out only 3, but it was just the 1 home run. That was it. It was all Mariners after that. And so that's what you're looking for. He only gave you 6 innings, but with this bullpen, that's all you need. And can he give you that tonight at home? This so-called pitcher's ballpark hasn't really been working for you.
No.
Can Bryce Miller make it work?
I think for the Mariners, this feels like a kind of a must-win to be able to get one at your home ballpark with Bryce Miller to settle you down. He's 1-0, 2.61 ERA, and 5 strikeouts this postseason. But for the Blue Jays, they're sending out Kevin Gausman, 1-1, 2.38 ERA, 8 strikeouts this postseason. So that is the afternoon game that gets started 3:08 p.m. today on FS1. We'll step aside here, wrap up hour number 1 of the lunch break with a little buy or sell action. It is the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Come visit the all-new Wekopa Casino Resort, formerly Fort McDowell Casino. Whether you're visiting for slots, table games, the Valley's favorite bingo hall, golf, or food, our new smoke-free casino resort is the place to be. Enjoy a fine dining experience like no other at Ember, or go for the lively crowd at WKP Sportsbook and Bar. Wekopa offers 2 top 10 golf courses in the state, and the resort with heated pools and cabanas is the perfect place to relax. Come experience Wekopa Casino Resort today. At Wekopa, we have the best of it all.
Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard that right. 0% APR on all 2025 Mitsubishi.
And if you're thinking about selling or trading your current vehicle, please give us a call. Our data shows that 9 out of 10 times we offer more. Don't cost yourself $1,000 or more by not making that simple phone call.
The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time.
Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Upgrade your hunting arsenal with premium brands at great prices during the Shields Hunting Sale event happening now through October 19th. Scope out savings on your favorite brands in camo, rifles, ammunition, and so much more. Like $200 off the Sitka Fanatic jacket and up to $500 off the Leupold VX5 HD rifle scope. Join the community of hunters who trust Shields experts to outfit their adventures and get more bang for your buck now through October 19th at Shields.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. As always, you can follow along with the KDUS 1060 app or on the YouTube channel KDUS AM 1060. But Evan, let's just get right into it with a little buy or sell action to round out the hour.
All right, let's do it. Starting with the college football team here in town. I don't know if you've seen this, Caleb, but they are sporting some awesome throwbacks this week. ASU's throwback jerseys they are wearing this week are their best jerseys.
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, let's buy it. Yeah, I'm a fan of throwbacks. I'm a fan of, some throwbacks, not all throwbacks, but yeah, let's buy this, and I think that it could ignite something here for the Sun Devils.
So I gotta ask, because I feel like some people love it, some people hate it. They do that, like the sun logo with the ASU. I think that could be my favorite one.
Okay.
Because I love Sparky.
I was gonna say, I love Sparky on your hat.
Sparky is awesome. I love the sun logo.
Yeah.
Let me add me to the stream here so people can see
Yes,
my hat. Yeah,
your
it could
hat,
be
yes.
great start. But I love the sun logo. I think that one's fun. The pitchfork falls last for me. And I don't dislike it. It's just, it's not as cool as some of the other ones.
So I guess then the when they're in their all black pitchforks, that's not for you.
It's just not my favorite. The all black jerseys are nice.
Mhm.
They're just not my favorite.
Okay.
I love the helmet they wear with the big Sparky head.
Yes.
That one's fun.
I just love Sparky.
Yeah,
that's my jam.
Yeah. The Bengals, with a win last night, will be in playoff contention when Joe Burrow comes back.
I'm going to sell that. I think we can get excited and have a lot of fun with Thursday night's victory there with the two 40-year-olds going at it. Defensively, though, I think they have a lot of question marks that need to be answered. I know Trey Hendrickson wasn't playing in that game with an injury there, but if he is your only pass rush option, certainly opposing offenses can try to find a way to neutralize him. And Joe Flacco gives you an opportunity, though, to get the ball in your playmakers' hands, which is what you want. But I would caution to say that that's going to be exactly what happens when Joe Burrow is ready to come back.
That's fair. That's very fair. The away team will end up winning every game in the American League Championship Series.
You know what? I think this is a huge game for the Mariners, but let's just have some chaos on a Friday and say, yes, let's buy that.
I think that'd be so much fun again. Yeah.
Yes, that would be a blast. We will get into hour number 2 with some ASU conversation as they're taking on Texas Tech. And we'll also have our picks, too, for our 3-point plays of the weekend. It is the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
These lawyers love to promise you they're going to fight for you unless you read their fine print.
When you read the fine print, you'll see not licensed to practice in this state or not a law firm.
You do not trust your future anything other than experienced trial lawyers. Call the husband and wife law team first.
As part of the Forward Building Together initiative to build and rebuild communities,
Desert Ford dealers and Team Rubicon are helping to rebuild Globe, Arizona following recent flooding. If you'd like to donate to Team Rubicon efforts, visit our website to find a link. Go to donate.teamrubiconusa.org/donation/Ford dealers.
At Winco, we're working to save you money. Big savings on top quality meat, produce, seafood, and deli. Bakery fresh breads, cakes, and cookies made daily in store. Low prices on top quality national brands and thousands of our own private label. In every aisle, every department, every day.
9 stores in the Phoenix area, including the new Santan Valley location.
Hi, I'm Luis Gonzalez. Like me, Casino Arizona is uniquely Arizona. It's been some time since I hung up my cleats. That's why it's nice to feel as welcome here as I did when playing at home. From the friendly smiles to the winning celebrations, this is where I love to play now. These days, my favorite players are all gathered around the blackjack table. And yes, they can hit. Want to feel as welcome as me? Join Salt River Rewards. They treat you right. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
At Nationwide Vision, we help you step into every moment clearly and confidently. From quality eyewear and comfortable contact lenses to comprehensive exams and professional fittings, we make finding your focus a more enjoyable experience than ever. Right now, buy 1 pair of glasses and get the second one free, so you can live bolder, look sharper, and see better. Schedule an appointment today to find your focus.
Sticks. The Hits. Live at Celebrity Theater. Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th. With special guest Max Gomez. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. A trip through all their best. Don't miss Sticks Live. Produced by Danny Zalisco Presents.
During the Kia Fall Sales Event at Mark Kia, receive 0% APR for up to 72 months on the 2025 Kia EV6.
That's right. Pay no interest on your brand new Kia for full 6 years. The name to remember, Mark Kia. Mark Kia. Offer expires November 3rd, 2024.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on this Friday, October 17th. Kayla Mortellaro filling in for Chris Schubert, who's wrapping up, enjoying his honeymoon. He'll be back with you on Monday. Evan, of course, behind the glass, making sure that you can see and hear everything on KDOS AM 1060 YouTube's channel, as well as with the app KDOS AM 1060. In this hour, we'll be joined around 12:15 or so by Kyle Soppe from Pro Football Network to get some plays for the weekend. We'll have our 3-point plays and, of course, your chance at a Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits gift card, too. So make sure you're coming with your 3-point play, and we'll open up the phones a little bit later on for your chance at that. Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits, find them online at vonhansensmeats.net. All right, ASU football, though. This is a huge game for the Sun Devils. Tough test as well. Coming into Tempe is the 7th-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. It does appear Sam Leavitt will play. He is officially listed as probable for the game, but all indications are looking very good for him to be back out playing quarterback for the Sun Devils. And this Texas Tech, though, their front is just a beast of a front. And it's going to be a challenge for this ASU offensive line, who unfortunately has lost offensive lineman Ben Coleman for the season with that arm injury that he sustained against Utah. You have this Red Raiders team that has 21 sacks on the season, led by David Bailey with 8.5 and Romello Height with 4.5 on the season. However, Height is listed as questionable for the game, so that could be something to monitor. In addition, Texas Tech's quarterback is listed as questionable, but I'm tossing it on over to Evan to help us out here with the injury report because it is beyond lengthy for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, this is, when you look at this injury report, I couldn't believe just how long it is, and I got to zoom in here so I can read all the names here. Starting with the players out on the Arizona State side. Running back Kyson Brown, defensive back Xavier Alford, defensive end Albert Smith III, Noble Johnson, the wide receiver, quarterback Cameron Dyer, defensive back Plas Johnson, Cyrus Villaseñor, the linebacker, Ben Coleman, who's out for the year on offensive line, Douglas Taloma, who's on offensive line, will be out. Brent Helton, offensive lineman, out. Jaden Fortier, he's the tight end. He's out. Zach Swanson's out. Defensive line, Michael Gardner, also out.
Is that 13?
That is, 1, 2, 13.
13.
And then doubtful, don't know how this happens. Your punter, number 31, Canyon Floyd. Defensive lineman, Ian Chewell, probable. Rodney Bimage looks like he'll play the defensive back. Keith Abney looks like he could return this week, also defensive back. Jeff Sims found himself on the injury report after last week's start. He's listed as probable. Miles Rouser listed as probable, but also on the injury report. Running back Kanye Udo is probable. Sam Levitt listed as officially probable. Xavier Scawarn, the safety, he's probable. Kamari Anderson, tight end, probable. Nyland Green, cornerback, probable. Martell Hughes, if plays, going to get the start at linebacker. He's probable. Jesus Gomez also found himself on the injury report. The kicker, he is probable to go. Pryor Young, Black Goat, the linebacker, he's probable. Wade Helton, number 64 on offensive line. Kyle Scott, number 77 on offensive line, also probable. And one of your big dogs up front on the defensive line, number 99, CJ Fight, listed as probable. A lot of players on the injury report. Luckily, most of them coming in as probable later in the week. Listen, it's been a long injury report for the Devils all year.
Yeah, no, you are correct. It has been, and certainly when you have a Texas Tech Red Raiders program coming in, that's not the injury report you want to see, with 13 on the out, 2 on the doubtful, and a lot on the probable. But the most important part here, I guess, is Sam Levitt on the probable side of things to be able to help move this offense, because we saw what happened last week without him, and it's really important for him to be out there. But also wide receiver that you had on the probable list, that could be good too, right? To be able to help with not having all of the attention on our number one guy.
Yeah, no wide receivers, but Kamari Anderson, a tight end.
There we go.
He's on the probable list, looking to be back. You don't know how many reps he'll get in. So far, it's been obviously a lot of Shimon Mateer, which is expected. Also, Cameron Harpool has filled a role in nicely as that second tight end. So you don't know how much you'll use Kamari Anderson. I'm interested to see if they'll ever go to a 13 personnel, go 3 tight ends, anything like that. We haven't seen a ton of that. We've seen them do a lot of 2 tight end sets. Are they going to do maybe 3 tight ends with 3 really good tight ends healthy? That's the bigger question. On the Texas Tech side, though, you look at it, they have some bigger injuries. Now, it's a much shorter list. They only have 13 total. Arizona State had 13 guys just on the out. But they're going to be missing quite a few big pieces if some of these guys don't play. We'll start with, on the questionable list, the 2 big ones. Baron Morton, which is their starting quarterback. And that's going to be a huge discussion because it really changes how Texas Tech is going to want to play offense. If it is Baron Morton, we're going to see a lot of what we've seen from them all year. If it isn't, we could see a lot more of what ASU kind of started to see with Utah, right? So maybe some triple option, a lot of quarterback running. You're going to have to be way more sure tackling, which you weren't last week. So if it isn't Baron Morton, does that give Texas Tech an advantage and a look that ASU really hasn't seen and struggled with against Utah? It looks like Baron Morton may be able to play. Still questionable. I imagine he'll be a game time decision. I don't think we'll get any kind of official decision until Saturday morning. The other one is Romello Height, who is an outside linebacker for them and been one of their big pieces in the trenches. This team has a pass rush that can get after it. And they have 2 outside rushers that really can do it with the best of them. And Romello Height is certainly one of them, and he is listed as questionable. That could be a big get for Arizona State if he's not able to play in this.
Well, a couple of things that you had touched on there. So the tackling was very poor in that Utah contest, and Kenny Dillingham noted as such, and they practiced live with tackling all this week because he was pretty upset with what they had seen in that contest. And I think that he even had used some of the words to describe himself and the team as quote unquote soft. So there's going to, I think, be an emphasis here and a different level of intensity and tenacity from the Sun Devils in this game on Saturday afternoon. But also, doesn't this feel like a ripe situation for what we have come to know of Kenny Dillingham, throwing in some wrinkles, doing anything by any means necessary to try to win a game? And when you have a list of players who are out, like we just read, that this is that type of game with a number 7 ranked team coming into your place. You've had the home field advantage that you've enjoyed for the last 2 years, that we could expect maybe some wrinkles here to try to get a win.
Yeah, we've seen them do the onside kick versus BYU. They tried the squib earlier that looked like an onside kick this year. Fake punts, they do it all. I imagine this is the type of game where you're going to see some kind of crazy wrinkle from Kenny Dillingham. I think you said it best. This is the one where he's lining up for it, and they're going to go kind of throwing anything at the wall, hoping it sticks. And that's going to be the answer for Arizona State, because they want to get this game, because it's really important, not only for getting back into rank, you're playing number 7 team in the country, but also to be in a position where you can play for the Big 12 championship. And if you lose this game, you're talking about a 2-2 start in conference. And I know you did that last year when you were able to go to the Big 12 championship, but it doesn't feel like the same conference this year as it did last year.
No, that's very true. It's a little bit of a different setup here. So this is a huge victory or a huge game to try to get a victory for the Sun Devils. You touched on the defensive front here for Texas Tech. And I guess it's no surprise, though, that they have this D-line, because they've identified what they wanted to do to shore up their team, and they put in the NIL investment to it with a total of $28 million in their NIL toward their team. Their defensive front, every single person on that defensive line is making $600,000 or more for their NIL. So they had this investment. They identified, here's how we are going to win football games, and they went and did it. The other thing that they have been very good at is offensively running the football, with Jacoby Williams and Cameron Dickey combining for nearly 1,000 yards themselves. Not each, but combining for 1,000 yards. And when you talk about the run game here, ASU was very good stopping the run until that Utah contest. So tackling became an emphasis here. I'm curious to see which sort of ASU side defensively is going to show up at 1 p.m. at Mountain America Stadium on Saturday.
That's going to be the question. That is certainly going to be the question. And the health of Sam Leavitt is the other question, right? How many points are they going to be able to put up? Is he able to move like he has in the past? Is he able to run?
And when you have a defensive front bearing down on you, you need a mobile Sam Leavitt.
Amongst the top in the country. Like, Sam has been a mobile machine this year, right? Like, running for touchdowns. They ran the read option early in the year. He's scrambled touchdowns. Apparently he's been dealing with this injury since the Baylor game. I thought he was still mobile in TCU. So how much is it going to affect him? Has it gotten worse? So many questions, right? And so there are a lot of questions to be answered for what ASU could look like offensively after how poor they were at tackling last week. Can they bounce back? Can they be what they were before? That's another huge question. Lastly, you touched on it. Texas Tech went out and had the number 1 transfer class in the country. They spent the money, and as Nick Saban once referenced Texas A&M, doesn't matter if you don't get the right players. Texas Tech seemingly got it right? And that's why they're here. That's why they're undefeated. That's why they're the number 7 team in the country. And they did it in the trenches. They got better in the offensive line. They got better in the defensive line. You're going to see that be a huge factor against ASU. If they're able to contain this pass rush, though, Arizona State can take advantage and put up some points on Texas Tech. And if they do that, then we're talking about a team that wins a big game. Texas Tech in offense and defense is top 5 in every metric except one. It's pass offense or pass defense. Get the ball to Jordan Tyson, right? And by the way, they rank outside the top 5. They rank 6th, I believe. But everything else, they're clearly in the top 5, 4th in a few, 3rd in most. They have to take advantage and get the ball to Jordan Tyson and make sure you can push the ball down the field. Don't be afraid to take your shots because of this pass rush. They're going to be able to get after it, but still take your chances, take your deep shots, and see if you can hit on some big plays.
When it comes to this Texas Tech team, I think I was reading here that them and Indiana are the only 2 teams in the FBS that are ranked in the top 5, both offensively for scoring points and defensively for stopping their opponents from scoring points.
Yeah, that's the answer, right? That is what you want to be. And that's the reason Texas Tech's been so good. That's the reason Indiana is off to the start they are off to. And that's why they locked up Kurt Cignetti for another 9 years or whatever
8
yesterday.
years, $93 million.
Yeah, 8 years, $93 million. So well-deserved for Kurt Cignetti. And so Texas Tech, if you're being breathed in the same breath as Indiana, which feels like a crazy sentence, that's a pretty good look right now.
All right, so when we think about this game kicking off 1 p.m. Saturday, Mountain America Stadium, the home field advantage that the Sun Devils have had under Kenny Dillingham here, the effort to put into that with this huge game on the line, do you think ASU can pull off an upset, or what's your prediction?
It's something in my heart. In my head, I don't know, but in my heart, in my gut, that is telling me it feels like Arizona State could win this game. This just feels like a Kenny Dillingham game to win. And for me, that's the reason I'll actually take the Sun Devils. I think this is a 24-21 Sun Devils win. I think they end up kicking a game-winning field goal.
Okay, I like it. I want to see that happen here. So, and you're not the only person that I have heard say that they feel like ASU could pull off an upset here. I, on the other hand, I guess am letting my logic win out in this one, just because that injury report is so deep. You're missing a lot of key players, and the defensive front for Texas Tech, and I guess it also comes down to whether or not their quarterback is going to play and how that's going to look. But in the end, I have Texas Tech 34, ASU 27 in my prediction here, with that kicking off Saturday, 1 p.m. on Fox. Let's keep it rolling, though, with some football conversation. We'll step aside here, though, in the lunch break on KDUS AM 1060, and we'll be joined by Kyle Soppe on the other side from Pro Football Network for some NFL plays of the Sunday slate.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarter. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
One last match, one unforgettable night. The regular season finale is here as Phoenix Rising hosts San Antonio FC on Saturday, October 18th at 7 p.m. It's fan appreciation night with special drink and food deals and end-of-season merchandise sales all night long. Celebrate the season, cheer on the squad, and send Rising into the playoffs in style. Tickets start at just $15. Log yours in now at phxrisingfc.com. Final match, full stadium. Let's rise together.
Hey, it's Pat. So I went for ice cream the other night, and they had 48 flavors. I couldn't decide. Well, the Valley Toyota dealers have put me in that same position. They have 19 hybrid models to choose from, more than any other brand. How could you choose? Like the ice cream shop, I had to test all 19. Unlike the ice cream shop, I didn't go home with a bellyache, so that's a small win.
Right now, get a rugged 2025 Tacoma SR or SR5 with 1.75% 48-month financing. Or get low 1.75% financing for up to 72 months on a full-size Tundra. With great deals like this, now's the perfect time to visit your Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com. Toyota. Let's go places. 1.75% with $21.59 per thousand borrowed for 48 months. 1.75% with $14.64 per thousand borrowed for 72 months. Offers end 11/3/25 and exclude TRD Pro models. See dealer for details.
We believe everyone deserves access to fresh food. That's why the Kroger Company created the Zero Hunger, Zero Waste program to share fresh food with the people in our communities. Our program and foundations have donated 3 billion meals since 2017. That's nearly 10 meals for every person in the U.S. Together, we can do more for our neighbors. Just round up your purchase at checkout. Fry's, fresh for everyone.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The James Franklin fallout has turned into a nightmare for Penn State and a windfall for just about everybody else. The Nittany Lions' decision to move on from Franklin came with nearly $50 million in buyouts and a lost season, but it also set off a chain reaction across college football. When a powerhouse program pays that kind of money to make change, opening up a top job at a historic university, every elite coach in the country suddenly gains leverage. The first to cash in, Indiana's Curt Cignetti. Fresh off his program's resurgence, Coach Sig just signed a 8-year, $93 million deal. Penn State's desperation didn't just reset their own program, it reset the financial bar for everyone. Penn State's mistake is becoming everybody else's payday. And in college football, the coaching carousel just got a whole lot more expensive. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
High quality meat, unbeatable freshness, and a family-style commitment to care. That's the Heartland difference. Heartland Steak Co. is your go-to source for premium Midwest meats, delivered straight to your door. Whether you're hosting a backyard barbecue, planning weeknight dinners, or giving someone the gift of Midwest flavor, Heartland Steak Co. is perfect for any occasion. Hand-cut and hand-picked from the Heartland. Our premium selection includes USDA Prime and Choice beef, all-natural pork, chicken, and more. Save time and money with easy online ordering and expertly assembled specials. Grill Master packages, freezer-filled bundles, holiday gift boxes, all flash frozen for peak freshness. Go to heartlandsteakco.com. Get 2 ribeyes with a purchase of $150 or more. Use code FOOTBALL25. Heartland Steak Co., your one-stop shop for straight-to-your-door Midwest meat. Taste the Heartland difference at heartlandsteakco.com. Again, use code FOOTBALL25 to get 2 ribeyes with a purchase of $150 or more.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
Even if Troy Aikman pretty much said the NFL product sucked last night, he's not wrong. I thought this was supposed to be a brand new Jets. They're more dysfunctional and more undisciplined than ever. You know what would actually be brand new for the Jets? A new head coach starting 0-5. That has never happened, but it looks like there's a very good chance it's about to happen.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Kayla Mortellaro filling in for Chris Schubert, who's off enjoying his honeymoon. He'll be back with you on Monday. Evan behind the glass. We were expected to be joined by Kyle Soppe from Pro Football Network. Unfortunately, something came up for him, and he won't be able to join us. So instead, Evan and I are just going to turn our attention to diving into some Arizona Cardinals conversation and previewing this game for them on Sunday with the Packers coming into town. So a couple of things, I guess, on the injury front that I saw to start our morning here is that, one, Marvin Harrison Jr. was out at practice, and he did not have the yellow no contact jersey on. So that leads me to have some optimism that he will be playing on Sunday. The other thing here is that Zay Jones had popped up on the injury report as a DNP all week, but he was out and seen in practice today. So that also is a good thing. The other portion of things that I saw from this morning, Kyler Murray practicing again with the practice squad.
Yeah, it feels as if maybe we're in this situation where we could get Zay Jones and Marv to play, and maybe Kyler might not play. You don't know if practicing with the practice squad is exactly the news you want to hear. I think it's better than did not practice, certainly. Yep. I don't know how I feel about practicing with the practice squad and if that gives him the opportunity to play on Sunday, because to me, that just means that Brissett is getting all the first-team reps for whatever reason or another. It's injury, or they want to roll with Brissett this specific week. But you and I had a conversation this morning. Like, you came in, and we straight up talked about if Zay Jones is on this injury report and Marv doesn't play, who are they going to throw the ball to? Yeah. And that has dramatically changed over the last few hours, because there's a feeling now that Marv could play and that Zay Jones could play. And with Brissett last week, this offense was as efficient as it's been. And a lot of that had to do with using other receivers. I mean, they had a lot of different receivers touch the ball. You were able to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers, Trey McBride for the length of the full game, actually. And Marv, before he went out, had the 2 big catches, some big gainers. He had a 30-yard crosser.
Down the field.
He had an 11-yard catch. So he was certainly involved in the offense, and I think that that's exciting to know. With Brissett, maybe they can get Marv more involved. I thought Jacoby Brissett stood in there, right? And having a quarterback as big as Brissett, he stayed in the pocket. He delivered the football and took some shots from that Colts defense. I don't know if I expect him to take those level of shots again. I certainly know that Green Bay is going to be able to get after it up front, and this is a far better defense than they saw last week from the Colts.
So that's the thing you bring up here, is that we applaud Jacoby Brissett for standing in the pocket and making those throws and maybe getting to your second or maybe even your third read when Kyler would maybe pull the ball down, run, or all of a sudden you're in a scramble drill kind of situation here with him. But now you have this defensive front led by Micah Parsons. I think it's a big deal that Lucas Van Ness is not going to be playing for the Packers. But in general, it is a better defensive front than what they faced with the Colts. So with Jacoby Brissett's, I don't want to say limited, but limited mobility, does that actually now not favor him in this particular situation to be the starting quarterback if Kyler can't go for 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, I think that if you're in a situation where you need to leave the pocket, you would rather have Kyler Murray. What's been a knock on Kyler Murray is he's probably leaving the pocket too early, and there are clean pockets that he's stepping out of and not getting to the second and third read as they are initially designed, because he's left the pocket a little too early, got too anxious, got too happy feet back there, and started moving. That's not the case with Jacoby Brissett. This week, you're right, that may hurt him with a guy like Micah Parsons on the other side, with a better pass rush that the Green Bay Packers have. Or it could help, right? Like, you don't want to run into sacks either. So that's a different conversation too, of would Kyler Murray be running into sacks? They're just very different play styles, and they can both work. That's the important thing. There's, a knock on, okay, well, he doesn't move at all. And there's a knock on, oh, well, he runs too much. It's like, okay, well, Manning didn't move at all, and Mike Vick probably ran too much, and they both had fine career success. So that those are different conversations. You can get both to work. For this Cardinals offense, as it's initially designed, it felt as if Jacoby Brissett had more success last week than Kyler has had sitting in the pocket playing ball control football. And when you want to play the style of football that it feels Jonathan Gannon wants to play, it feels like a typical stand in the pocket, deliver the football quarterback, similar to what Jacoby Brissett is, fits this offense better. Jacoby is a guy, though, that we've seen have games like he had last week, but we've never seen him consistently lead a team week after week after week and play well for an extended period of time.
I think for Jacoby, he's the perfect backup. He really is, because you know what you're going to get from him. He's able to step in, move the offense. He's able to keep you in ball games. If you were on a team that was 5-2 instead of 2-5, or 2-4 in this particular case, he's going to be able to come in and kind of keep the ship going if your quarterback is out hurt. I don't know that he is your starting quarterback moving forward, because he's had the chance to be a starting quarterback, and we saw what we saw, and I think we've proven that he's that perfect backup quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why he's been what he has been throughout the course of his career. And it feels like he is a guy who's seen a lot of football across the National Football League. That's why he's kind of a coveted backup. He can step in. He can play like he did last week. He gave the Cardinals a chance to win. And listen, they're probably one holding call away from winning the football game.
Yep.
That's why you bring a guy in like Jacoby Brissett. I don't think at this point in his career that anybody's going to ask him to start 18 or 17 games unless you have an injury preluding the season. That's just not the type of quarterback he is anymore. I think he's an upper echelon backup across the league, and I think it showed last week. Will he be able to do it for another week in a row? That's the question, because that's been a huge question throughout his career.
So I'm going to flip this now to the defensive side of the ball for the Cardinals. And we touched on it a little bit earlier in the week about the pass rush and how Josh Sweat has been very good. But where else are you getting that pass rush from that is not from a blitz? And they really aren't even blitzing. So these opposing quarterbacks, and especially Daniel Jones last week, was really able to just kind of sit back there, survey the field. And I'm a little concerned that if that's the same style we're going to see on Sunday, that Jordan Love is really going to be able to kind of have his opportunities in finding different guys for the Packers and to really kind of just get into a rhythm. He's a quarterback on the season that has completed more than 70% of his passes. He has Tucker Kraft. They're finding ways to get Matthew Golden now more involved. And then if you get the run game opening up, the pass game opening up the run game here, now all of a sudden you really have the Cardinals off balance. And so I think I would like to see something a little bit different on the defensive side of the ball to try to make the quarterback uncomfortable.
Yeah, that is going to be what this Cardinals defense is probably going to have to do to get pressure, right? Like, they're just going to have to probably send blitzes, and they don't need to be 8-man blitzes, but they're probably going to send more than 4 on quite a bit of downs. As a blitz actually works, it's just sending 5 or more players. So expect their blitz rate to be high. Expect 5 rushers to come a decent amount. They're going to want to get Jordan Love off platform, want to get him moving around the pocket. That's probably where you're going to have the most success. Like any quarterback that has played for the Green Bay Packers, he is a gunslinger with a strong arm. He's going to throw it around the yard. He's more like more like Favre in the fact that he can turn the ball over. Rodgers didn't really do that in his tenure with Green Bay as much as Favre did. Love is a turnover-prone quarterback, and if you can cause some turnovers this week, you can beat this team. We saw it every week. Like, the Cowboys hung 40 on them. The Browns were able to really hold them down and win that football game. This team is susceptible to bad losses, and for the Cardinals, take advantage of that.
You know I put them at number 2 yesterday in the power rankings, and I was not really certain that I was happy with that placement for this Packers team because something to me is just missing. Statistically, yes, they're a good football team. Statistically, they're in all these amazing categories defensively, but yet you're giving up double-digit leads. You allowed the Cowboys to come back on you. You had no business tying that football game. Something it has, I guess all the pieces yet haven't clicked. Maybe one day the offense is really rolling and the defense is kind of struggling. The defense is playing a little bit better. The offense is a little bit more, it's challenging to get things going. So I feel like we're watching this Packers team where we're talking about them as that they can be this, but they haven't been this yet. So can the Cardinals on Sunday take advantage of that the Packers haven't put it all together yet? And that's the thing for this Cardinals football team being 2-4. This game, you have to get this game if you want to try to claw your way back into any semblance of a conversation, because the schedule is so tough from here on out.
We thought the Cardinals were going to have to take advantage of the early part of their schedule, and they weren't able to do that. Like, you and I have had the conversation, 2-6. It is an uphill battle in the NFL. It is a really large uphill battle.
Looks like Mount Everest.
Yeah, it really does. And so, I mean, it probably takes 10 wins to get into the playoffs. You're going to need to win or go 10-1, right? Like that is the type of conversation that you would, 8-1 throughout the year. You can only give yourself room for one leeway. And that's a massive, massive problem. So are the Cardinals able to win this? Because this feels like a must win. And then the back half of their schedule gets a lot tougher as it gets deeper and deeper.
One of the things that I am a little bit concerned about here is for the Cardinals is the run game. I know it kind of looks like they've maybe identified Bam Knight is getting a little bit more touches. Michael Carter. It looks like Amari DiMercato is not going to play. He wasn't seen out at practice today, and he didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday. So to be able to get that balance of an offense that you're looking for, and what's also needed too to slow down the pass rush to make them honest for any sort of run game.
Yeah, and they have had their struggles with the run game. This offense leaned on it so heavily last year on the run game, and this year they haven't been able to do so. It's probably the reason they're off to such a slow start. So are they able to lead on the run game? They're going to need to do it this week more than ever, because you said it, this pass rush can get after it. And if you're going to leave Jacoby Brissett back there, just throw it around, this pass rush will come home to eat.
All right, so Evan, what's your prediction for this game for the Cardinals?
I think it's Packers. I think it's 24-13 Packers.
Okay. I'm going Packers as well, 24-20. So I guess that's technically covering the spread. Last I saw that was at 6.5. But I think Jacoby can, if he is the starter, go out there and kind of put something together here. This Packers defense has yet to prove to me that they can hold those double-digit leads. And the Cardinals, in all of their games this year, are winning or losing, and they're all very tightly contested here. So within a couple of points, so why not keep that theme rolling here? But I do think the Packers at this point in time are the better team. Even they have some injury issues as well, but all in all, I do think that they are the better squad, come in here and get the victory 24-20. On the other side of the break, though, it is time for our 3-point plays, where we have our 3 bets of the weekend. Both Evan and I have it, and a caller, which could be you, at 480-864-1060 for your 3 plays of the weekend. My understanding is if you go ahead and get those picks in and beat us, you're in line for a Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits gift card. And of course, Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits is just between Elliott and Warner on in Chandler on Alma School at vonhansensmeats.net. So that's 480-864-1060 for the 3-point play. We'll do that on the other side of the break here on the lunch break on KDOS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
For everyone out there, Jacoby Brissett is not the answer because he's had games like that before where he's shown you that he could be a very capable quarterback. He's never been able to do it for a season and lead a team to any meaningful playoffs. So while it looked good, Cardinal fans, it's still not the answer. It just shows you how good it could be maybe if Kyler Murray could play better or just different play calls, I guess, can be made.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we could be connected here and there.
Let's watch a movie.
And we have Netflix included to enjoy our favorite shows and movies.
¿Qué tal esta? Bacanísima, pero ya la vi.
Now the hard part is getting them to agree on a movie.
Switch today and get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI, all on the best network in the U.S. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla. Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025.
To everyone counting down the days until pumpkin season, your wait is finally over.
The salted caramel pumpkin concrete mixer and pumpkin spice shake are back at Culver's for a limited time. And because nothing beats the real thing, every scoop of fresh frozen custard is made with farm fresh dairy, and every bite is filled with real pumpkin puree. So come visit us at Culver's or order ahead in the app or online and fall in love with these pumpkin desserts all over again.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious. To everyone who believes in magic, let our team member Teppy tell you how we do it at Culver's.
We're not talking about card tricks or disappearing acts. Wow. This is the kind of magic that transforms real farm fresh dairy into world-class Wisconsin cheese. We're talking about Midwest magic. It's about handcrafting every meal with love, because at Culver's, we want every bite to be turned into a smile. Order ahead in the app or online and come taste the magic for yourself.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
It's time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
Doesn't it make you feel better?
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Kayla Mortellaro filling in for Chris Schubert. He's back on Monday from his honeymoon. Evan behind the glass, and it's time to turn our attention to some fun for the weekend with our 3-point plays. Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits gift card is on the line. You can always check out them at vonhansensmeats.net. All right, so we're going to turn it to the phone lines, though, and get Addison in Scottsdale's plays for the weekend. Addison, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. All right, so give us your 3-point play.
All right, I'm going to say my 3-point play is going to be the Colts +1 against the Chargers.
All right.
I think the travel that the Chargers have endured going to Miami, then going back to LA, is going to be a little tough for them, especially with kind of Quinn Johnson questionable still, and kind of a gritty win against Miami, I think Indiana's going to be fired up after a comeback win against the Cardinals. And I'm all in on Indiana Jones.
It's a great name. It's a great name. What's your 2-point play?
My 2-point play is going to be the Dolphins +2 against the Browns.
So you
Devon Etienne's coming off his.
I was going to say you want the 50-mile-an-hour game, huh?
I do want the 50-mile-an-hour game because I think the Dolphins have the better back, the more explosive back. And I think after a heartbreaking loss, Mike McDaniel has his job on the line. He's going to have to kind of think of something in order to keep that job.
I'm surprised Mike McDaniel still has a job.
So honestly, so am I. But I also think that Tua is a known kind of winner, not in the NFL, but in college, and I think he's going to pull one out in the 50-mile-an-hour wins.
All right, what's your 1-point play for the weekend?
My 1-point play. I know Evan's going to love this one, but I'm sorry to do it to my guy. But Carson Wentz revenge game. I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings spread. Philly's been a little shaken up the past 2 weeks. And I think Wentz is going to be on a little revenge tour. He has that sour taste in his mouth from everything that's happened in his career. So I think he's going to be a little fired up to play.
All right. I like it. So Addison's plays here are Colts +1 against the Chargers, Dolphins +2.5 at the Browns, and the Vikings +2.5 against the Eagles. So Addison, I hope you have an awesome weekend, and we'll be rooting for you for the Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits gift card. Perfect. All right. Well, I will get the 3-point play here started for me. And I'm going back to the well. I'm going back to my teasers here. And it's funny because there's a lot of actual teaser legs and there's a lot of like round robining that I have done. And when he was talking about the Vikings +2.5, they are actually one of my teaser legs up to 8.5 this week because I do think that it will be a 1-point or a 1-score game with this Vikings and this Eagles squad. But for the 3-point teaser that I am doing for this particular contest here, I'm going Patriots -1, Falcons +8.5. I just have a hard time seeing how the Patriots are going to lose this game. I know Vrabel has been downplaying it all week long about his return to Tennessee, but the Patriots are just a much better team than the Titans. I know the Titans just fired their coach. They have their interim head coach in Mike McCoy. I don't really see that being any sort of boost to this Titans squad here. And so I think that the Patriots, who Mike Vrabel has already had more wins or tied as many wins as the Titans have had since they fired him at 4. So the other side of this here, a little concerned with the Falcons being this other leg of the teaser. Maybe I should have done the Vikings at +8.5, but the Falcons +8.5 on the road. It's a short week for them. Are they going to be a little happy with their big win against the Bills? But I think that this is still a really good spot for them. Bijan Robinson has been so good. This 49ers defense is banged up as they are, giving up 107.3 yards per game on the road. Bijan Robinson and also Tyler Algier could be fed often in this ball game here. So I think that the Falcons can keep it within 8 points. So I'm going Patriots -1, Falcons +8.5 in that teaser. So Evan, what's your 3-point play?
My 3-point play, I'm actually going to move overseas across the water into London and give me the Jags. I'm going to take the Jags plus the points. I have it at Jags +3.5. They're going to take on the Rams in London. It just feels like a home game every time the Jags are over there. And I love the way they've been playing football recently. I know they're coming off a tough loss last week, but give me the 4-2 Jags plus the 3.5 in London.
I like it a lot, and I came in and I said to you this morning that I was also interested in that game. So for my play, it's actually my 1-point play. I will mix it up, and I will not do the same one as you. But I will be going back to that game. For my 2-point play, I'm going Saints +5.5. Did the Bears suddenly get a rushing game? I don't know. I mean, I know that they took it there to the Commanders and it was coming off of a bye week, so maybe they made some adjustments here. But the Saints offense with Spencer Rattler hasn't actually been that bad despite being 1-5. And this just feels like a spot here for the Bears, a little bit of a letdown for them coming off of their intense victory against the Commanders on Monday night. The Saints doesn't feel like they have laid down yet. So I'm going to go Saints plus 5.5.
I like it. The Saints have been kind of one of those teams that felt like they've hung in every game, and all in all, Spencer Rattler's been a pretty good player to this point, and they haven't had the scores fall their way in many of them, but so far it's been decently good for New Orleans. So I like that game, and I think they will cover that spread. My 2-point play of the week, give me the Colts plus 1.5 at LA Chargers. The Colts, this is a big test for them, and I think what was an emotional win last week against the Cardinals because of the late drive there by the Cardinals held them out. I just really feel like they're rolling right now. The Chargers are kind of been sputtering around. They got a win against Miami last week, but a couple tough losses before that, and they have all that travel. Our caller brought that up. So I think it's the Colts. I think it's the Colts plus 1.5 on the road in LA.
So I really like them as one of my round robin teaser legs because I think they can keep that game within a touchdown here. To me, that is a ginormous. This is a test here for the Colts. You are 5-1. We think very highly of you as a team. Now are you going to be the team that can face the Chargers here? Because you've been winning these games against no team that has more than 2 wins on the season. So this is going to be a huge test for the Colts going on the road. I like them, though, to keep this one close. My 1-point play, going back overseas here, the Jaguars and the Rams. So I'm not copying you at plus 3.5. I'm going under 44.5.
The under in the overseas games always feels like it hits. I like that play. And I think those defenses are 2 really good defenses. The Rams front can really get after it, and the Jags have been a turnover machine all year long.
And where are the Rams getting their offense now without Puka Nacua? So there's a lot happening there for them. So I'm going under 44.5.
My last play of the week, my 1-point play is going to be Carolina minus 1.5 in New York, in the Meadowlands against the Jets. I like Carolina this week. I think they got a big win last week to get to 3-3. They're playing the Jets, and I don't even know if it's how much I like Carolina that's the reason I'm taking this game, or how much I really hate the Jets. But I'm going to take Carolina minus 1.5. And Chris was able to text in some picks. So his 3 picks of the week, his 3-point play, 49ers minus 2.5. They are at home this week against the Falcons on Sunday Night Football. He's also going to take that Carolina game as his 2-point play. He'll take Carolina minus 1.5 versus his Jets. And his 1-point play, he is going to take the Titans plus 7 at home against New England. New England comes in as 7-point favorites. Chris is going to lean on the Titans as his 1-point play.
All right. So we got a gamut here. This is going to be a fun weekend ahead for sure. And of course, Addison trying to win the Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits gift card. We'll step aside here, wrap things up on this Friday, October 17th edition of the Lunch Break here on KDUS AM 1060.
Games out west. Mike Trout became the 59th player to hit his 400th home run. The home run record holder for the Angels. I was going to quiz you. Who do you think the number 2 is on the list for all-time home runs for the Anaheim Angels?
I would assume it's Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, Tim Salmon.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
299 for Tim Salmon. Mike Trout got 101 more than the next guy.
Naming a random MLB player that had a good career.
Yeah, dude, I loved watching Tim Salmon, bro. I'm about to cut together some Tim Salmon highlights.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Upgrade your hunting arsenal with premium brands at great prices during the Shields Hunting Sale event happening now through October 19th. Scope out savings on your favorite brands in camo, rifles, ammunition, and so much more. Like $200 off the Sitka Fanatic jacket and up to $500 off the Leupold VX5 HD rifle scope. Join the community of hunters who trust Shields experts to outfit their adventures and get more bang for your buck now through October 19th at Shields.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
¡Listos todos! Estas son las mañanas.
Now we just need to harmonize.
Switch today. Get 4 Samsung Galaxy S25 phones with Galaxy AI. Plus, get 4 lines for just $25 per line. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. For well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Minimum 4 lines on plan. Contact us with canceling lines. Plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up this Friday, October 17th edition of The Extra Point. Darn it. I did it. I did great for 2 whole weeks until today.
I was going to say that one. Oh.
Oh, that's crushing. Crushing indeed. All right. It is the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. I think I was thinking in my head about what I wanted to say in terms of thanks to everyone for following along for 2 weeks, letting me hang out with you all. And Evan behind the glass, we've had so much fun for 2 weeks. And Chris will be back on Monday. So, of course, big congratulations to him for getting married and enjoying his honeymoon and let me sit in the seat here for 2 weeks and keeping it warm for him for being back on Monday. But I almost made it for 2 weeks.
I think you only had one other than that one,
Yeah.
right? It's just the one slip up.
One slip up. Oh, and then the last segment, here we go. Oh, that's a bummer. But no, a big thank you all as well to all of our guests that joined us for the last 2 weeks. It's always great to learn something, pick some people's brains, and have a lot of fun doing it and talking some sports. So thanks for everyone for letting me sit in for the 2 weeks here and keep the seat warm for Chris in the lunch break. But when we look ahead to the weekend, Evan, what are you most looking forward to on the Sunday slate?
On the Sunday slate, I mean, it's an interesting weekend because it feels like there are some good games. Like this Jags-Rams game, I'm upset it's at 4 or 6:30 in the morning because I want to get up for it. I just don't want to get up at 6:30. But that's a game I'm excited for. Obviously, always excited to see my Eagles play. They have the Vikings in a revenge game for Carson Wentz, so I think that one's going to be fun. What does Jackson Dart look like against the Broncos? I think that's a real good question.
Test.
That's probably the best defense he's played all year. So what does the young quarterback look like there? He's been 2-1 so far. Is it going to be better, worse? How's it going to look against the Broncos? The Colts-Chargers game, that's a really big one if for many people, including myself, because what are the Colts actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is that football team? And I think we'll know traveling to LA, you have the time change, you're in the late window. What do you look like against the Chargers? That's a huge question. Cardinals obviously excited for see what they can do against the Packers. What does this offense look like? Is it Murray? Is it Brissett? All those questions. The Monday night game is going to be interesting too. Bucks Lions, that first one. And Sunday night, Falcons just got a big win What are they going to do against the Niners?
Falcons got a huge win here, and for the Bucs and the Lions, this line of 5.5 makes no sense to me for these two teams. So it'll be a lot of fun in the NFL weekend. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Chris is back with you on Monday. It's been the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060.